Today on the channel, I'm going to show you how to play Ain't Talking Bout Love by Van Halen. Alright, Ain't Talking Bout Love by Van Halen. This is a great song off of Van Halen 1, and this song may be perceived as a simple song to play, and it may be a little simpler than some Van Halen tunes, but there's a lot of complicated little Van Halen intricacies in this tune, and I'm going to show you all the details here in this lesson. So let's take a look at it. So one of the main key fundamental pieces of this is Eddie's ability to palm mute and arpeggiate so that his chords sound big, but you can hear each individual note. So this song is in the key of A minor. By the way, I'm tuned to standard. Eddie tuned to almost E flat, but I'm in standard right now. So this A minor arpeggio, it sounds like this when he arpeggiates it. Then I'm going to slow it down and show you. And pretty much the main riff of this song is A minor, F, and G. So that's the main riff. So what we're doing there is I'm palm muting. I suggest, if you don't know how to palm mute, practice you know, resting your hand on the bridge pickup lightly and chug along to something, and you'll learn how to get your notes to sustain properly, but be able to control the volume. So we've got this turned all the way up with lots of heavy gain, but we're going to arpeggiate this A minor chord, and we're going to go like this. So that's the first three notes, which is basically open A, E, then this A, then back to that E. Like that. I'm fretting the entire chord, but I'm just playing those three notes. And then I go, which is an F. It's actually an F major 7, but we'll call it an F just to be simple. So I'm playing the open E, and I'm going to F. First fret, then this C, and then this A. So it outlines this F chord like that. So the first part is, and then we're going to go, which is a G chord. We're going to play, I'm playing with these two fingers, and I'm resting them on the 3rd fret, and then the open G, and we're palm muting everything. And what I'm doing there is I'm going C, B, C, but I'm sliding into it and putting some vibrato. That vibrato gives it personality, and it sounds more professional. It doesn't sound like we're going. You ever watch Eddie play, or a lot of players? They'll take a note, like for instance this note, and they'll add some vibrato to it just after they hit it. And it just sounds like the note is singing. So, and the rest of that goes A minor to G. I'm just playing A, just basically like a power chord. 3 notes, and I'm putting 2 chugs, and then A again, 2 chugs, G, and then this thing again. So from the beginning, all right, and if you notice, I got a little bit of delay and reverb on there. They put a plate reverb in the studio on Van Halen 1 that made everything sound huge. Eddie played with a little bit of delay on his live tone, if you listen back to a lot of those party gigs and bootlegs. So I have a little bit of delay on there, but one nice thing about palm muting is it gives that space between notes, and you can hear your effects, and it really sounds cool to me. And when you hit those, you can hear the effects in the background too, and I just love that. I mean, I love effects. Sometimes I overdo it and put way too much reverb and delay on my signal path, but over the years I've tried to calm it down just a little bit. Sometimes I think I'm doing good, and other times I think I'm doing pretty terrible, but anyways. All right, so then there's this little lick that he does. And what that is, he puts that in between, like. And what I'm doing there is I'm playing this open E string, and I'm gonna be on the B string, so I'm gonna fret a note, and I'm gonna be playing two notes at the same time. And it creates that dissonance. I think they use a sitar on the album actually as a backing track. So I'm going 3, 5, 8, and 10. And the rhythm to that is. So. And as many of you know, Eddie used a flanger. He used a flanger in a lot of songs, like Hear About It Later, Unchained, Ain't Talking Bout Love, Aftershock. He had this uncanny ability to click his flanger on and make it sound so big and expansive and huge, but at the correct time. So when Eddie does this, that lick, he hits a flanger right before that lick. Like that, and then hits it and turns it off. So there's the flanger part of that song. Another really cool aspect of Eddie's playing is his tasteful and really cool and perfect use of effects. So let's talk about the verse where it breaks down. So Eddie liked to roll back on his volume to clean up his tone. So we're going to roll back. Don't hit the clean channel on your amp because it's going to sound as brittle as peanut brittle, and it's not going to have any headroom or tone. So that distortion makes the amp sound warm, and it gives it body and depth. So you're going to roll back a little bit, and the next part of the song goes really quiet. And that's where Dave's singing, I heard the news, baby, all about your disease. So it does that, then it kicks into the chorus, and he's like... All right, so there you go. And that's the main part of the song. All right, so let's talk about the breakdown in this song. It's very simple. Basically, Eddie's got the guitar rolled back to a nice clean setting, and we're gonna hit the A minor chord twice, and then we're gonna hit 3 harmonics on the 5th fret, and then hit our whammy bar and give it a little bit of vibrato. And we go back to the A minor, and then we descend on that harmonic. And he does that twice. He's got a little bit of a flanger effect on there, so when you hit your flanger, it sounds very pretty, very swirly sounding, and that clean sound on your amp will make that flanger sound a little bit more pronounced. And what's cool about this this rollback technique we've been talking about is when he digs into it, it sounds really gritty, but then he can approach it a little bit less, with less aggression, and it cleans up. For those harmonics, and to hit those harmonics, we're basically just tapping lightly over the fret wire on this 5th fret, and you're going to hit it like this. Barely touch it and pull off. 5th fret, 7th fret, and 12th fret are the easiest frets to get natural harmonics on, but you can get them pretty much anywhere. So there you go. You can play around with it a little bit. I mean, live Eddie did things a little bit differently than he did in the studio. But that's the general concept. And then he turns his volume up, all full blast, and whammy bar dive on the G string. So what I'm doing there is I'm holding my strings, so only the G string is able to be played, and I'm playing everything. So there you go, there's the breakdown in Ain't Talking About Love. Now the guitar solo comes in twice, to my knowledge. So he starts here. So I'm going to give you the single notes, and it's just like that riff I showed you earlier, where he's going to play the high E string, and he's going to have the B string, and it's going to sound like a little bit of a doubled solo there. This gives it a drone. So I'm going to play the single note first without doubling it with this high E. And then he does this, something like that. You know, that's this octave bend up on the A minor. So. Now he's going to tremolo pick. Here's another classic Eddie part of the song. So we're going to go. Like that. And sometimes he'll go. So another thing you want to get down, as far as Van Halen, especially live, he liked to pull out all the stops. Eddie, after he'll complete a lick, like he'll be bending that note, and then he'll move his hands just like this. And then what that does is it covers up all the strings, and you can just hit that. Like I'm hitting all the strings and it goes. So go. And then sometimes he'll go. So what I did there is I'm hitting this, the bar on Eddie's guitars. He didn't have them set to pull up, but as you bend down, you hit a harmonic on the 3rd or 5th fret. So that's another cool little trick that you can do live. So that solo. Okay, so another thing that he'll do in this song, especially live, are pick slides. So with these pick slides, what you want to do is the low E and the low A string, and you want to angle the pick at a decent angle, and you want to hold your frets down with your fretting hand. And Eddie used a thin pick, believe it or not. He used a really super thin pick, and thin picks really bite into the string. So right when you get that initial, you can really hear that. I'm using a Tortex medium. These are my pick of choice. I'll never use anything else. But he used a thin pick. I just can't use a thin pick. I've played for too many decades with mediums, so. All right, and then the final part of this song, they got to end it. Like, they just couldn't go. Can you imagine if Van Halen ended Ain't Talking About Love with a trash can ending? I mean, that would have been terrible. So what Eddie does is he goes. So what I did is I went E, G, A. So what I did there is I went E, G, A, B, C. Little vibrato. E, G, A, B, E. So slowly it's. Then repeat. And he does the Jimi Hendrix song, or Jimi Hendrix chord, E minor, sharp 7 or something. I can't remember the name of the chord. Somebody tell me in the comments. It's too late at night. Little whammy bar dive. All right, so there's Ain't Talking About Love by Van Halen. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel, comment below, and until next time, peace out.